Good morning. I am out today wanting to do a video diary entry. It is the first days of July. It's the 4th of July weekend. This coming weekend, it's Thursday. Um, and this entry is about starting to get rid of our stuff. So, stuff is really moving along. My husband submitted his resignation, so he'll be done mid month. He just submitted it, I think, yesterday or on the 1st. And then mine is in, but I won't be done until towards the end of October. So he will be available to get the house ready for sale. Um, Things are a little neglected for a couple of reasons. One is that usually when it gets this hot in Texas in July, I start to retreat from the garden due to the heat. That's why I'm out here at 7 a.m. nice and early, because by 9:30, 10, it's uncomfortably hot. The other reason why things are a little more neglected than usual is just our attention is now turning towards away from the garden and towards preparing the house for sale. So we do have some upkeep to do. I was on a work assignment this past week, and he actually joined me on his weekend off. So that means that all of this, we're behind a bit. But the summer rains are coming, the monsoons, and everything starts to grow really fast. And I want to keep on top of it. So this weekend, it's surprising how much we can do in a few hours. We're just letting everything finish its season, kind of die out, and then we just clean it up, and it really tidies things up, which will be important for showing the house. But the most exciting thing, look at this patio. So I don't know, you're probably not very familiar with it, but it was packed with stuff. It had like a potting bench over there, some storage shelf for my potting stuff. It had a nice seating area here, patio set. It had a dining patio table and chairs. Side note, look at this garlic. It's drying and it looks like pretty much done. So soon I'll be able to cut it and prepare it for storage. But we love growing our own garlic. So my husband has been selling off some things to friends. We are having an estate sale, but some people want to run in and get stuff before stuff is open to the public. And a friend came over and was like, hey, he's younger, millennial, and has acreage, and he's at a time of his life where he can use things more than we can now, at the time of our lives. But this was a nice patio set, and he's like, can I take the patio set? And my husband's like, sure, but don't you want to? Actually, it was the opposite. He goes, can I have the dining table and the chairs? And my husband's like, sure, but don't you want a patio set where you can sit and entertain? And and he was like, you know what? I do. So he took the whole thing, and that was nice. And then he also took this fire pit set we had. There was 4 Adirondack chairs there, a mini fire pit. There was a bistro set here, a small table and chairs where we could sit in shade and kind of enjoy the morning. This area is shaded in the morning. And he took it. He even took all the pots, the large pots I had there, a tree that had self-seeded. And I mean, it's really starting to clean up. And I'm so excited for that. So if you notice, over there is some Christmas boxes. We're starting to clear out storage. So all that stuff, 90% of it is going to be thrown out. It's old Christmas stuff, and that's just half of the Christmas boxes. What I was wanting was to clean it out so I can free up boxes so I can start packing up stuff from the inside. So that's all going to be happening this week as well. Is just gradually taking out the stuff we no longer want from storage, opening up space to put the items, hopefully few items, minority of items in the house that we would want to keep and continue to store. There's just some stuff we're not ready to let go of. And then there are also some things that hopefully in 10 years or so, when we get tired of the full-time travel life and want to make a home again, I'm sure some of those things I'll be so happy that I went through the trouble to keep things that kind of tell our life story, are kind of reminders and reference the past, where we've been as a family and so forth. And so there are some pieces that I'm hoping will come to that purpose. And I know some of those pieces, 5-10 years from now, I'll be ready to finally let go of. So, but like I said, I've done a big downsizing in the past, and I'm kind of familiar with that process of letting things go. We let go of 2/3 of our possessions 5 years ago, and I feel like I learned a lot from that process. They're also going to be taking this storage cabinet, and then we have a larger one for landscaping equipment that someone has already reserved up, and soon I'll be working on prepping the greenhouse too, getting rid of what I don't think is worth much or I don't think anybody would want, and then just preserving some items in there that people might want at the estate sale. So let's take a look at the greenhouse. So if I walk up this pathway, there it is. Oh, it looks like my new hose has a little bit of leakage. I'll just turn it off. But yeah, some of the plastic pots and so forth, I don't think I would want to save those. Maybe my higher quality seed starting stuff I'll save for any gardeners coming through the sale. Our friend who's buying up a lot of the garden stuff might want my fertilizers and soil amendments. And little by little, we'll clear this up so that the house is sold with a nice, functional and well-prepared greenhouse. Those sunflowers, they've really taken off. And before we go, we'll just take a quick stop at this bed, which is active right now in flowering with Gomphrena, Zinnia, Marigold. If I get some time, I'll cut a couple of bouquets for the house. But right now, I'm really just enjoying them in their natural growth habit. Some celosia. You see the yellow is changing before our eyes because the sun is rising up higher. Just came up over the mountains. So it has begun, the process of getting rid of our things. It's a pretty big week. As I was going over, my husband is working on clearing the stuff from outdoors in the yard, and I'm focusing more of inside our home. But now I constantly walk around with this working list of what's being kept, what's being sold, and what's being thrown away. Take these items for instance. They look like simple coasters, but they were made for me by my daughter, and she gave them to me for Mother's Day some years ago, and they're so beautiful. These are small, easy to store, and I know that someday when I have a new home to settle into, I would find a nice little corner to hang them and always remember this beautiful work that she gave me. And it's not easy, and I'm not looking forward to it. I went through that process before, and it's very emotionally taxing. It's also very freeing when you're done, but it takes a bit to get to that point. So today I was walking around, and I had a goal to just pack up the first box of things that I know we're going to keep. And they're mostly small items with a lot of emotional attachment. But it is the 4th of July weekend, and we are planning tomorrow to be together as a family and to do a cookout. And then I kind of thought to myself, it's kind of sad to start bearing down the walls and everything before our family holiday. So maybe I'll hold off. It's only the summer that we're all together, and then my daughter leaves to start her second year of college, and we don't get together quite as much here. So I thought, well, let's enjoy this holiday. Let's get her moved towards the end of the month, and then I can do that more in earnest. But just to walk around and hold up every item and weigh it, not in its literal weight, but its emotional weight or life weight. And it's interesting how some things it's so easy to be like, oh, getting rid of that. And other things that would be so insignificant to someone else means so much. Take, for instance, this little jewelry box. It was a gift to us on our wedding day in 2002. 24 years ago, and it still means so much. Something we brought on our first downsize and still want to take with us to any home we make in the future. Um, so it's an interesting journey to do all of that. My goal is to save as little as possible because it really is true that things start to own you rather than you owning things. And we do have this one small storage that'll be our home base with our RV and truck. And from this base, we'll either take off on RV trips or monthly international trips between my work assignments as I transition to working uh, light part-time PRN. So what I envision is that we'll have this small storage. It's 10 by 12 feet, and that the things that matter most will be in there. And as we travel, we'll pull out seasonal things or whatever it is that we need. And I anticipate that someday we'll get tired of traveling and that we'll want a home again, whether that's a small apartment, tiny home, condominium. I'm not sure, but I'm certain that our explorations to come will give us that answer. But someday, I imagine it will be nice to pull up these items that mean so much to us through the years. You know, we're now 30 years together, that we can pull out, transition into our new home, and it's just part of our life story. I don't want to save every furniture item or anything like that. Frankly, most of the furniture was purchased with this home 5 years ago because when we downsized from our larger home, the scale of that furniture coming from such a large home just didn't go in the new place. So a lot of the furniture we have now were actually purchases off of Amazon or IKEA, and we're home, built here, not super valuable stuff, very useful still, but nothing that has such emotional value that I would want to keep that in a storage facility. So the things we would keep are things more like pictures or mementos or things that my girls made or special art pieces or items that really say a lot about us, um, where we've been through the years, and so forth. So, yep, those are the days now. The days are planned around moving, um, getting the home ready for sale. We've gone over the comps on the house and we've determined a list price. I've started to make calls on reselling my car. I have a car still under financing. It's a Lexus, very nice vehicle, but once we're retired, we don't need two vehicles. So my husband, he put in his notice on the 1st, and by mid-July, he's going to be done and will have his car, and he'll be able to take me for my limited work shifts when I need to go until my contract here in town is over. And then from there, my travel is covered through um, my company contracts for travel work. So we really don't need two vehicles anymore. Um, I've been pricing out, and he's looking into it too, on the resale value and getting rid of that payment, that insurance, just one less thing to have to worry about. And ultimately, our one vehicle will be his truck. And when we go RVing, we can haul the RV with it. So that's the update on this process of early retirement and transitioning to travel. I'm going into a semi retirement. We want to start to have extended trips, 3 weeks of each month. And the plan is to do that a few years. And then when my daughter's done with college, then I retire fully. And then we're full time traveling. So this is one of the steps, and it's a very, very big step. I'm so excited. So let's keep at it. Thank you for listening to today's entry. I'll keep posting our progress as we go and watch this whole thing unfold. Have a wonderful day. Bye.